Trend lines can be a powerful tool to trade the market. It allows you to get in at a good price level and ride the existing trend. And many of you already know how to do that. But what if we could take things up one notch and use it to catch the start of a new trend? I'm talking about buying near the market bottom and selling at the market top, which is the most profitable because you will be able to capture a big chunk of the trend. If you contrast this to buying or selling in the middle of the trend, it should be quite clear that your profit potential will not be as great. In this video, I want to show you the multiple trendline trading strategy so that you can catch the start of a new trend. What is amazing about this trading strategy is that it is low risk because we would have waited for the market to turn first rather than catching a falling knife. For you to be effective in executing this trendline strategy, then obviously you're going to need to know how to draw trend lines accurately. I will go over that quickly as well, just in case you're new to trading. Sounds good? Please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you are new to this channel. Appreciate that a lot. It helps support this channel so that we can keep investing more money into the creation of these trading tutorial videos, which I believe will be of tremendous help to you. To encourage you to pay close attention and not miss out on any critical pointers, we also do a giveaway worth $37 for our plug and trade trading package. So if you wish to participate, then look for an emoji somewhere in this video. Once you find it, comment on what the emoji is. You can also find the full instructions in the pinned comments down below. Now a quick refresher on how to draw trend lines accurately. Now pay close attention because the entire strategy is based on the trend line. And for the trend lines, there are two rules that you must adhere to. If you get this wrong, you're going to mess it up, so please follow closely. When drawing a trend line, we want to connect it to two swing points and project it further. You can do this by opening the settings and enabling the ray option. Most charting platforms do have this option. If you struggle to identify the swing point, you can switch over to the line chart and you will be able to see the swing points easily. So to get the perfect trend line, there are two rules that you must adhere to. The first rule involves touching as many candles as possible. You can see that the trend line is drawn in this example, connecting as many candles as possible. And here's another example. Now, the second rule involves not cutting through the candle's body. Let me show you what I mean. So right here, the trend line doesn't cut through any candle's body, except here where the price eventually breaks the trend line. This is perfectly fine, but not a trend line such as this, where the price cuts through many of the candles' body. So quickly, let me show you an example of a perfect trend line that adheres to the two rules. You can see that this trend line here touches as many candles as possible while not cutting through the candle's body. This is how you accurately draw a trend line, and we are going to use this when we trade the multiple trend line strategy next. So this is very important to understand, so please rewatch this portion before proceeding with the strategy if you are still not clear. Moving on to the multiple trendline trading strategy, let me break down the steps involved first before going through each step with you. Step number 1, draw a trend line. Step number 2, wait for price to break the trend line. Step number 3, draw a new trend line. And step 4, entry using a price action candlestick pattern. Sounds confusing? Don't worry, I promise that I will walk you through each of these steps individually so that it will be crystal clear for you. So step 1 involves drawing a trend line. Now to illustrate this, let's assume that we want to catch a bullish setup. And because we are trying to catch the start of a new trend, then the first trend line we have to draw will be a descending trend line. A break of the descending trend line would mean that there is a possibility of a new trend. This is very important, so I will repeat this. In a bullish setup, the first trend line we draw is a descending trend line, not an ascending trend line. So right here, following the two rules of drawing a trend line, we have the perfect trend line drawn like this. Moving on to step 2, we need to wait for the price to break the descending trend line. Remember, we want to catch the start of a new trend. So we need to wait for the current downtrend to transition into an uptrend. Now price eventually breaks the descending trend line and starts reversing. And that means that we can move on to step 3, which is to draw a new trend line. This time, we will draw an ascending trend line because we want to trade with the new trend, the bullish one in this case. Now, you won't be able to draw a new trend line right away after the price has broken the previous descending trend line. You will have to wait for the price to form a high, a low, and a higher high before drawing it, because we need the market structure to be bullish as well. Again, the two rules of drawing a trend line apply here. Do you now see why learning to draw the trend line correctly is so important? Now in this case, when a price finally makes a high, a low, and a higher high, we can go ahead to draw the ascending trend line. With that, we are now ready to move on to the last step, which is looking for an entry using a price action candlestick pattern. This is the easiest step of the 4. It could be a hammer or a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern. Now, I won't go into the specifics of the candlestick pattern in this video because I've already provided a candlestick cheat sheet in a free day trading guide. If you have not downloaded this free day trading guide, I will leave a link to the guide at the top right corner of this video and at the end screen of this video. You will also find a link in the description down below as well. For now, let me walk you through another example, this time a bearish setup. We begin by drawing an ascending trend line. Remember that the first trend line is always in the opposite direction to the setup. So in a bearish setup, it is an ascending trend line, and in a bullish setup, it's a descending trend line. Once we have this, we wait for price to break and also for the price structure to allow us to draw a new descending trend line. We get a low, a high, and a lower low, thus allowing us to draw the descending trend line. Then we wait patiently for the price to retrace to the descending trend line with a bearish candlestick pattern. Once we see this, we can go ahead to take the trade and ride the new trend. I won't go into how to manage the trade because that's an entire video on its own, but I've previously uploaded many videos about how to manage your trades using exit indicators. For this strategy, just be mindful that you are getting in at the start of a new trend. Hence, do not be in a rush to take profit, and where possible, try to trail your stop loss and ride the trend for all it's worth. If you do this well, then getting a risk to reward of 1:3 or perhaps even 1:5 will be achievable. Summing up this video, I taught you how to draw a trend line accurately. To do that, the trend line must adhere to two rules. Firstly, it should touch as many candles as possible. And secondly, it should not cut the candle's body. I also showed you how to catch the start of a new trend by using the multiple trend line trading strategy. We draw two trend lines, one to tell us when the trend has reversed and the other to tell us where to enter. We then wait patiently for the price to retrace to the trend line and enter via a price action candlestick pattern. And that's it for this video. I hope you got value. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you won't miss out on any future videos I upload. As promised, I will leave a link to the free day trading guide in the end screen over here. Do grab a copy of it if you have not. Thanks for watching. I will catch you in the next one.